Look at him.
I am.
Not him. Look at him. Uncle Cyrus is under doctor's orders not to get excited. Just look at him.
Come on, boot him! Boot him, come on! Give him his head!
Well, he's excited.
Well, can't you stop him?
What do you suggest?
Well, I don't know. Do something. Talk to him.
Well, he's not a child, Sally.
Yes, he is.
Beat him up!
He's just a very old, wrinkled child.
Come on, come on! What's the matter with him? Come on, let him loose, let him loose! Hurry up with him, come on! Come on, come on, come on! Well, don't just stand there. Raquel Welch can get away with it, but you've got to say something. How is he?
He's fine.
Is it any wonder I have a heart condition?
Uncle Cyrus.
What was his time? 48.2.
No, that wasn't so hard, was it? You could have told me. After all, I'm the one that has to pay your astronomical salary.
Well, you could have, but you didn't ask. You asked how he was.
Yeah,
I told you. He's fine.
he'll win the Golden Gate Stakes on Friday? Well, now that's more like it.
Unless some other horse beats him.
You see what I'm up against, Mac? Ah, now I'll get some straight answers. How's Bio-Nose, Willie?
Our horse is moving just great, Mr. McPhee. Come Friday, those other nags will be choking in his desk.
Cool him off for half an hour. We don't want him catching cold.
Just get him rubbed down. I'm taking him back to the ranch with me.
With the race, just 2 days off?
2 days is 2 days.
You mean 2 days is $20, don't you? Listen, I'll spring for it.
You think I'm going to be indebted to you for a lousy $20? Besides, it's closer to 50. Well?
Forget it.
That's what I thought. Talk is cheap.
If it weren't, you'd be a mute.
Don't you think all that traveling is bad for Bio-Nose? It can't be good for him, can it?
How bad can it be? I do it all the time. And Bio-Nose is a lot younger than I am.
The Grand Canyon's a lot younger than you are.
Yeah, well, I heard that. And it's not true, but it's thanks to you that I'm catching up.
Don't you really think it would be better for Bio-Nose to stay right here at the stables?
Oh, sure it would. For the stable.
It's only for a couple of days.
Yeah, but a couple of days here and a couple of days there, it all adds up. Too much up.
Uncle Cyrus, you can afford.
Oh, now, Sally, look. I'm not even your real uncle. But let me talk to you like a Dutch uncle. You know, a man can go broke, spending money on what people think he can afford. Now, just remember that.
Yes, sir.
Pardon me a minute.
Those two are on the outs again.
Aren't they always?
I think it's shameful the way those brothers behave. They're all a family they got. I know if I had a brother, I'd be more than a sister to him. I'd be a friend.
You can
I mean,
say that.
What do you mean?
You don't have a brother.
Uncle Cyrus makes me so angry the way he won't spend a penny on himself. Sometimes I just don't understand it at all.
What's not to understand? Here's how you spell Cyrus. C-H-E-A-P.
No, he's not. Really, he's not.
There's nothing terrible about it. This is a democracy. A man can spend his money any way he likes. Cyrus likes to spend his money by not spending it.
Uncle Cyrus!
You all right?
Here.
Are you okay?
Well, I seem to be. Thanks to Willie here.
What happened?
Something spooked that horse.
Big Ben was born spooked. That's why his stall's always supposed to be kept latched.
Are you okay, sir?
Well, I'm still alive, no thanks to you.
I don't know how he got out. The stall was latched.
I guess he opened the door himself.
Somebody did.
I tell you, I closed it myself right after his workout. I swear I did.
Well, the important thing is that you're okay. You are okay, aren't you?
Oh, I just got the wind knocked out of me, that's all.
That's no easy trick. We better get you to a doctor.
I don't have to pay that kind of money to have someone tell me what I already know.
Uncle Cyrus, your heart, the shock.
Well, it's nothing compared to the shock of getting a doctor's bill. That my heart couldn't take.
Uncle Cyrus.
I'll take wild horses any day. Those money-crazy quacks, they pull out a sliver and simultaneously amputate your wallet. No, thank you. Oh.
What's wrong with your leg?
Oh, now, come on, Sally. I'm 70. I'm 69 years old. This is how old people walk.
You weren't limping 10 minutes ago.
I was younger then.
You should have it x-rayed.
Have you any idea what they're charging for x-rays nowadays? Okay, Mac. You're right.
Of course I'm right. But you still won't have it x-rayed.
Oh, you're right again.
That's quite a bad limp you got there, Cyrus. I hope they don't have to shoot you.
Uncle Cyrus, at least promise me that you won't be at the track on Friday. Coming on top of this, I don't even want to think of what the excitement of the Gold Cup race could do to you.
You expect me not to watch Nose win the biggest race in his career? That kind of advice would put me into an early grave.
I'm putting my foot down, Uncle Cyrus. If you insist on risking your life so foolishly, then I'm going to wash my hands of you.
Oh, now, but Sally, you gotta be fair.
No buts about it. Maybe your heart can take it, but mine can't.
You got yourself a very special filly there, Mac. I hope you know that.
Oh, I guess I do.
But I don't know what she sees in you.
We gotta go, Sally. Take care of yourself, Cyrus. Remember, you're an endangered species.
What do you mean?
Well, as far as I know, you might well be the last of the really cheap Scotsmen.
Take care of yourself, Uncle Cyrus.
All right, all right.
You better, or else. See you later.
Mr. McMillan?
What is it?
I just wanted you to know that I did put the latch on Big Ben's stall. I swear on my mother's grave, somebody else must have taken that latch off.
Any idea who?
No, I just know it wasn't me.
You could have forgotten.
Commissioner, I don't make that kind of mistake.
Well, if you don't make that kind of mistake, somebody did it on purpose.
It don't make no sense. I could lose my job, but who'd want my job?
Good question.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. You're invited to attend the free morning workouts held each morning at the north end of the grandstand from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m. Morning workouts.
Oh, Commissioner, Mrs. McMillan.
Don't tell me
Hello.
Uncle Cyrus actually took my advice.
Well, he didn't have much choice in the matter.
How's that?
Well, when Willie pulled him away from Big Ben, why, Mr. McPhee must have twisted his ankle. It all swelled up like a pregnant mare these past couple of days.
Did you have it x-rayed?
You know, Mr. McPhee, he wouldn't pay a doctor to make a house call if he could find one. Now, the way I figure it, he'll wait for the veterinarian to make his routine call on By a Nose here, and when he's out there, he'll finagle some free medical attention for
Well,
himself.
I'll call him after the race and see how he's doing.
Say, I got a couple of bucks that's burning a hole in my pocket. What do you guys suggest I do with it?
You stick it right there, Mr. McMillan, and just watch it multiply.
You mean it's a sure thing?
About as sure as you can get, keeping it kosher.
Well, in that case, I think we ought to bet a bundle.
That's a good idea, Sally, except I think they deal only in cash.
Well, I've got $3.17. That means I can only make a $2 bet unless you round it out for me.
Boy, I think I might have 83 cents on me.
You're supposed to round it out to 20 bucks.
Good luck, you guys.
Right.
We'll meet you in the winner's circle.
Meet us.
Yes, Mr. McPhee has arranged for you and Mrs. McMillan to represent him. If Bio-Nose wins,
If Bio-Nose wins,
Yes.
he's gonna win, right, Willie?
Right.
See you later.
In the winner's circle.
Right.
I'm parched. Is there time for me to get a drink of water?
Yeah, sure, but hurry up.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. The horses are now on the track for the feature race of the afternoon, the distance 1 mile and 1/16.
Sally. The whiplash is bad enough, but I draw the line at
I'm sorry,
strangulation.
Mac. If you'd lent me the $16.83, I would have won enough to buy that fabulous dress I was telling you about.
What happened to the fabulous dress you bought last week?
That's the one.
Oh.
I took it back. It was too expensive.
The horses are at the starting gate for the feature race of the day.
Well, the first rule is that you never bet on borrowed money,
Not even on a 100% sure thing.
especially on a 100% sure thing.
The flag is up. There they go. Jagaway is going to the front. Judy's Baby is second. Super Summit is third. Fast Black is fourth. Bio-Nose is fifth, followed by Lark's Baby. Around the clubhouse turn. It's Judy's Baby going to the front by half length. Jagaway is second by 1 length. Super Summit is third. Fast Black is fourth. Lark's Baby is fifth, followed by Speedy Ted, Rick's Bay, and Dale's Top. Turning into the backstretch, it's Shagaway in front by 1 length. Judy's Baby is second by a length. Super Summit is third, and Bio-Nose moving up fast on the inside is fourth. Speedy Ted is fifth, followed by Debbie's Wonder and Rick's Bay. They're at the half-mile post. It's Judy's Baby in front. Super Summit is second. Bio-Nose still moving up on the inside is third. Lark's Baby is fourth, followed by Speedy Ted and Debbie's Wonder. They're turning into the stretch. It's Judy's Baby, Super Summit, and Bio-Nose on the inside. Lark's Baby is fourth, Speedy Ted and Debbie's Wonder. It's a driving finish. It's Super Summit and Bio-Nose moving up on the inside of Judy's Baby. It's Super Summit and Bio-Nose and Judy's Baby. A three-horse driving finish. It's coming for the win as they come down to the finish. It's Bio-Nose. Super Summit is second and Judy's Baby is third. And Bio-Nose
Not as excited as you're going to be in a minute.
In the winner's circle.
No, when you go to collect your winnings.
I've got it. My ticket. Oh, man.
I'll tell you what, Sally, I'll split my winnings with you.
That's sweet of you, but you don't have to.
Well, I think it's only fair. I mean, I don't think Bio-Nose could have won without you. You rode a wonderful
Ladies and
race.
gentlemen, representing Mr. Cyrus McPhee of the Tam O'Shanter Stables today are Mr. and Mrs. Stuart McMillan.
Mrs. McMillan.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Willie.
Thanks.
Hey, congratulations to the both of you.
You're right. I couldn't have done it without...
Enright, I want you to follow him to the hospital, find out what happened.
Right, Commissioner.
Mac? What is it? Heart attack?
I don't know, until they run the tests.
Shouldn't we call Uncle Cyrus and tell him that Bio-Nose won?
Yeah, just tell him the good news, Sally. Don't tell him about Willie.
Well, why don't you use my office? It's just down the hall. I have to meet with the stewards.
Thank you.
It's disconnected.
It doesn't make any sense.
I know it doesn't.
Maybe you dialed incorrectly.
I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Mac, it is disconnected.
You sure you dialed the right number?
I'm positive. 555-9372.
Let's look in here.
I think.
It's not here. Try information.
All right.
Having a problem?
Sally can't remember your brother's telephone number.
Oh, it's been quite a while since I called him, but I think it's 555-9372.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
It's disconnected. Why would Cyrus do a thing like that?
The rate's gone up lately?
He's out there all by himself. Anything could happen to him.
That'll be the day.
Take it you and your brother don't get along too well.
Oh, you know how it is, Mac. Cyrus doesn't approve of me. He thinks I'm a libertine. But then he'd think anybody who drinks champagne when water's free a foolish spendthrift. Two different brothers, two different philosophies. I say live and let live. If you can call what Cyrus does living.
Mac, I'm really worried.
Well, let's drive out and see.
Okay.
See you, Angus.
Ciao.
Mac, I have this terrible premonition.
I'm sure there's some logical explanation for it. Maybe Angus is right. Maybe Uncle Cyrus decided it was too expensive to have a phone.
Everybody needs a phone.
Indians didn't. Maybe Uncle Cyrus decided to have a crack at smoke signals. We're almost there.
Cyrus. Mac!
Is he?
He's alive.
Better get him to the hospital. You okay, Sally?
I guess so. How much further is it, Mac?
Well, a few more miles. How is he?
I don't know. He's such a dear old man. You know, I can remember when I was a child, we used to spend our summer vacations on a ranch adjoining his. And I used to hear these dreadful stories about Mr. McPhee. He was my boogeyman. Till one day, he caught me climbing in his apple tree, and I thought I'd had it for sure. But instead, what's he do? He helps me down, he even packs a bag of apples for me. But he made me promise not to say how I got the apples. I think he liked everybody to think he was this wicked old monster. You old phony. When I first started to call him Uncle Cyrus, oh, he acted like he was very annoyed. I was only 7 years old, but I knew better. My first male conquest.
And all this time, I thought I was. Has he always been such a cheapskate?
Mac, he's a generous man.
Is Cyrus McPhee back there with you?
Mac, that's just a role that he plays. Like when he was playing the wicked ogre who owned the apple tree.
Come on, you've seen that house of his.
You've seen his stables.
What do you mean?
It means that Cyrus won't spend money on himself. But he loves buying-os. That's why there isn't a horse anywhere that lives as well. And what about what he gave us for our wedding gift? That didn't come from the 5 and dime store. And he loves Willie Marshak. You know, Cyrus won't pay for a doctor to make a house call for himself. But I guarantee you that no matter what's wrong with Willie, he won't have to worry about paying for a hospital bill.
Who would have ever guessed that Cyrus McPhee is actually Santa Claus?
Well, I once knew a 7-year-old girl who knew it for a fact.
That's a handy little thing. Let me see that. You know, Mr. McPhee has one almost exactly like that.
It's his. He was holding it when we found him. He must have been listening to the race on it.
That means he must have heard about Willie's collapse.
On top of the excitement of Bionoz's victory. You know, Sal, this radio's expensive.
Yeah.
It's $75. No, too. It isn't the kind of thing that Cyrus would rush out and buy. Did you have a birthday lately?
No.
Who do you borrow it from?
He never borrows anything.
He never lent anything either. Maybe it's a gift from a secret admirer.
A lady.
Wrong brother.
Yeah.
Doctor, how is he?
Sometimes we get lucky. It's a mild attack.
Thank goodness. Can we see him?
Oh, he's resting now.
You sure he's going to be okay?
He'll be fine. But I think you could stand a little rest.
Well, we've been so worried.
I knew there was no cause for alarm. Until my brother has a guarantee in writing from the good Lord himself that he can take it with him, he's not going.
When do you think we'll be able to visit him?
Call me tomorrow morning. Maybe you'll be able to help us convince Mr. McPhee to let us take care of him for a few days. I know how he feels about doctors.
Oh, don't take it personally, Doc. It's just that the thought of hospital bills makes his wallet break out in hives.
I wonder how Willie is. Whenever you want to find the news, you can't find it.
McMillan. Yeah, Enright. It's your favorite news commentator. What? Uh-huh. Okay, stand by. I'll get back to you.
What's going on?
Somebody tried to poison Willie Marshak.
Poisoned?
He'll be all right. They pumped his stomach.
Why would anybody want to do that? I said, why would anybody want to do that?
I think somebody is trying to kill your Uncle Cyrus.
By poisoning Willie?
Yeah, it's no secret that Cyrus has a bad heart. First, a horse almost runs him down, then his bad ankle prevents him from seeing the Gold Cup race, then somebody very kindly sends him a radio so he'll have to listen to the race. That radio may be evidence, Sally. Then on top of all that, they poison his jockey for good measure.
But if all that you're saying is true, why? Why don't they just kill him and get it over with? Why do they torture him like that? Who could be so cruel?
Somebody who doesn't want to be accused of murder, I think.
But it is murder.
An old man dies of a heart attack. You don't go and arrest somebody for sending him a radio.
It's the perfect murder, isn't it, Mac?
If Willie died, it wouldn't be.
You're right. But why would they risk it and murder Willie?
Because he figured he wouldn't be connected with it. Poisoning Willie is only one means to his end.
It's like we're moving through a nightmare.
Yeah, but whose? Operator, get me Sergeant Enright. Enright, I want a 24-hour watch on Cyrus McPhee. No phone calls, no newspapers, and no visitors. Anybody shows up, I want to know about it. If McPhee asks any questions, tell him it's doctor's orders. Right.
Who, Mac?
Who what? Well, who what?
We think someone may be trying to kill Cyrus McPhee.
Ah, why? As Police Inspector Gerard always says, first you have to know why. Once you have the motive, you know everything.
Inspector Gerard?
You know Inspector Gerard. He's the character from all those mystery books that Mildred's always reading.
Yes, as the inspector pointed out in the Rooster Crowed Murder.
I thought it was the Rooster Cried Wolf.
No, that was a sequel. The inspector says that people have only got 3 reasons for committing cold-blooded homicide. Revenge, greed, and jealous passion.
Is that what he says?
Not counting your hopped-up thrill killers, of course. So, What you have to do is find out why someone would want Mr. McPhee dead. And then you have your who.
Let's find the why.
Does the old man have a will? I mean, who gets the goodies? That's some place to start.
Cyrus always refused to make out a will.
There's another place to start.
Where?
With the people that knew Cyrus wouldn't be at the track today. One of them had to send him the radio. Who heard you lay the law down on him the other day?
Well, Sparks was there.
And Marshak.
Oh, Willie Marshak, the tall jockey? Well, I mean, he's sort of tall for a jockey.
Mac, Willie was poisoned. Besides, he and Uncle Cyrus are like father and son.
Sons have killed fathers before.
That's true. The son was the one in Paris bloodbath. He was in love with his stepmother.
Oh, good.
No, it was quite bad.
Who else was at the track on Wednesday?
That stable boy must have been there.
Oh, yeah, Price. And Angus.
Angus and Cyrus are brothers.
So were Cain and Abel.
And then there was that other jockey,
Mendoza.
Mendoza. He was standing next to Angus.
Where do we start?
I've been trying to find out who poisoned Willie Marshak.
Cheers.
Anything turn up about the radio?
Nothing, sir. But we checked McPhee's house and we found the package that came in. Whoever sent it must have wrapped it himself. That radio could have come from any of 500 local stores.
It was probably bought on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. Put a half a dozen men on it.
You want us to check 500 local stores?
Maybe we'll get lucky. You have pictures of all the suspects, haven't you? See if the stores can identify any of them. Anything on Marshak?
Well, he claims he never eats before a race.
Doesn't he drink anything either?
He claims he only drank water from a tap at home and then from a drinking fountain at the track.
Well, you don't get poisoned by drinking water from a faucet.
Water pollution is bad, but it hasn't come to that.
Mrs. Marshak?
Yes?
I'm Commissioner McMillan. This is Sergeant Enright. We were wondering if we could talk to your husband.
Well, he's resting right now, but I guess it'll be okay. Come on in.
Thank you. Have a fall?
Doesn't it figure?
I beg your pardon?
Life. It's just one big good news, bad news joke. You know, good news, bad. Well, you see, the good news is that your husband goes out and buys you a brand new powder blue new sedan. And the bad news is that you slip in the tub, break your arm, and won't be able to drive it for 2 months. Right? I'll be right back. Willie, what are you doing up?
I had to go to the bathroom.
Commissioner McMillan and Sergeant
Enright
would like to talk to you.
Commissioner.
How you feeling, Willie?
Well, under the circumstances, I gotta feel great. I'm still alive.
Willie, I don't think you should be up. Why don't we go?
No. I feel fine, dear brother. Come on, sit down.
Thank you.
Here.
Willie,
Yeah.
do you have any idea who poisoned you?
Not one, Commissioner. Maybe somebody dropped a bundle betting on me or against me. Other than that, your guess has got to be as good as mine. Better, maybe, because I don't even have a hunch about it.
Any idea how you were poisoned?
Thanks, dear. That's like I told Sergeant,
Enright?
at the hospital. I never eat on the morning of a race.
But you do drink.
Oh, sure. I had a glass of water at home. Then I had some water at the track.
From a drinking fountain? Excuse me, I was asking if it was from a drinking fountain.
From my thermos.
You never told me about any thermos.
I filled it myself.
With water?
Sure, with water. It's a habit, I guess, ever since I raced in Mexico. You know about the water there. I was out of action 9 days my first season, thanks to Montezuma's revenge. And after that, I started being a little more careful about what I drank. Anyway, once I recovered, I had a pretty good season, and I guess the thermos sort of became a superstition with me. You know, like a lucky rabbit's foot.
Until yesterday.
Eh.
Who has access to your thermos?
No one, me and Darlene.
We exchanged gifts. Willie gave me a new car, and I gave him poison.
Oh, knock it off, Darlene. No one's accusing you.
Well, then why don't you tell them that you keep your thermos in your locker and that he never bothers to lock his locker? Hmm? Anyone could have slipped you that poison. You know that. Why don't you tell them that instead of only me and Darlene?
That true, Willie?
I suppose.
Is your thermos in your locker now?
I guess so, but it just doesn't figure. I don't have any enemies.
One is all it takes.
Oh, cut it out, Sally. You make me feel like an invalid.
I'm just trying to make you comfortable.
Well, it's just having the opposite effect on me. When you keep fiddling with my pillows, you make me feel that I'm not long for this world. I swear that between you and those nurses, my chances of ever reaching the age of 40 are growing dimmer by the minute.
Oh, come on. You like all this feminine attention.
Don't make me laugh.
You rascal. I see you eyeing all those nurses.
Let me tell you, for what they're costing me, I'd need 4,000 eyes to get my money's worth. Believe me, I used to pay 50 cents for a lot more than I'm getting from those nurses.
Uncle Cyrus, I don't believe my ears.
Okay, so it was 75 cents. It was still a bargain.
Hi.
Hi, Don.
How are you feeling?
Oh, at these prices, Mac, how do you think I'm feeling?
You up to a couple of questions?
Yeah.
Your transistor radio, Cyrus. Was that a gift?
Yeah.
Who sent it to you?
Oh, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Didn't you get a card?
No.
Okay. Why did you have your phone disconnected?
Why? Because they make you pay for it every month, even if you don't use it. That's why.
Uncle Cyrus, it only costs you a couple of dollars a month.
It adds up.
Why did you have your phone disconnected?
I already told you, Mac. Weren't you listening?
I heard you. I just don't believe you.
She treats me like an invalid, and now you're calling me a liar.
You've had that phone a very long time, and somehow every month you've managed to scrape together just enough money to pay the bill. Now, all of a sudden, you decide to have the phone disconnected, and I want to know why.
Okay. I took it out to get rid of a nuisance.
What sort of a nuisance?
Oh, some guy kept calling up and saying things.
You've been getting obscene phone calls?
Oh, they were obscene, all right. He kept predicting terrible things were going to happen to Bio-Nose.
Did you recognize the voice?
Oh, some perverted crank.
You're certain it was a man?
Certain as a... Look, that old I'm not.
All right, no more questions.
Cyrus, I'll see you in the morning. Take care.
Look, you take it easy here.
Yeah. At my age, Mac, I'll take it any way I can get it.
Strychnine. If Marshak had been any thirstier, he'd never be thirsty again.
Commissioner,
Mrs. Marshak?
I have to tell you something, and I didn't want Willie to overhear me on the phone, so I grabbed a cab.
Have a seat.
No, I haven't got time. I told Willie I was just running out to the supermarket.
What is it?
Yesterday, when Willie went to get his thermos, he found Abel Mendoza hanging around his locker.
Well, why didn't he tell us?
Well, I don't know, jockeys. They're all loony as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he practically accused me, his own wife, of trying to poison him. But heaven forbid he should cast suspicion on a fellow jockey.
Well, thank you for telling us.
Okay, I got a dash. His meter's running.
So is mine.
Commissioner, I think we should go and have a talk with Abel Mendoza.
Oh, he's aboard Miss Jill in the 5th race. My interest in the equestrian sport's purely academic. But, if you should find yourselves in the vicinity of the $2 window, would you mind putting that on Miss Jill to win? I like the odds.
Miss Jill to win.
Right. Oh, I almost forgot.
What?
While you're at the track, you should talk to that trainer, Howard Sparks.
Why?
Is that where you get your tips?
Oh, they were his fingerprints on the thermos.
Morning, Sparks.
Huh? Oh, hello, Commissioner. Any word on Willie?
He's okay.
He's already home.
I wonder if that kid will ever ride again.
No reason for him not to.
Well, you know that heart attack.
He didn't have a heart attack. He was poisoned.
No fooling?
No fooling.
Now, who'd want to go and do a thing like that to Willie?
Do you know anybody who might have a grudge against him?
Not that I know of. Of course, every man has his secrets, and I figured Willie has his, but everybody seemed to like him as far as I know.
What about you, Sparks?
Yeah, well, like I was just saying. What are you hinting at, Commissioner?
The poison was found in Willie's thermos, and we found your fingerprints on it.
My Yeah, I guess maybe you would. I found his thermos lying on the floor of the locker room after they took him away in the ambulance. So I figured it fell out of Willie's locker, so I put it back. Hey! 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 Stop that horse! Stop him! Hold it down! Get that horse! Get him! Get him over here! What's the matter?
Hey, cut it out.
I'll cut your heart out. That's what I'll do. What are you trying to do? Kill that horse? I told you to bring him out here and breeze him, but with a tight hand. What are you trying to do, set the track record?
I took it easy until the home stretch. Willie Marshak told me to always ride by a nose full out when I came to the last quarter.
He told you that, did he? Yeah. Well, I happen to be the trainer. He's just hired help. Now, who are you working for, me or...
Oh, you know better than that, Sparks. I'm not working for the bookies.
Oh, that's too bad.
What do you mean?
Well, according to you, you're not working for them, and according to me, you're not working for me anymore. So you better get a job, but not around horses, unless there happens to be an opening at the glue factory.
But Willie Marshak told me...
Look, just get out of the way.
Commissioner, you get the feeling they're all a little bit nutty around here?
Good morning, Angus.
Neat, isn't he?
Come on, let's go see Mendoza.
Mendoza's locker is 412.
Mendoza, you in here? McMillan.
Look, I gotta get rid of 2 pounds and a hangover by this afternoon.
Hard night?
Yeah. I got drunk and I pray that Willie's heart attack won't be fatal.
Why get drunk?
Sober, I don't believe in that stuff. Sober, I'm an atheist.
It's too hot in here. Come on outside. Willie didn't have a heart attack.
Then what?
He was poisoned. He's okay.
Who did it?
That's what we're trying to find out. I understand you were in here yesterday when Willie came in for his thermos.
Yeah, I was looking for my St. Christopher medal. I won't ride without it. It's not a religious thing. It's a habit. Promised my mother. Yeah, it was on the floor next to my locker.
Your locker near Willie's?
Right next to his. Who would do a lousy thing like that to Willie?
Would you have any reason to?
What have you been smoking, Commissioner? Look, Willie is my best friend. He's more than a friend. He's like a brother. Now, you think I'm gonna get drunk and celebrate? No, it was sorrow. Because I thought my best buddy was lost. My sorrow now is that I drank so much.
Commissioner, your wife's on the phone.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's coming now, Sally. Okay, dear. Ciao. Can I get you a drink?
No, thank you. Hi. Oh, yeah? Well, that's fine. I'll be right over. Sally says Cyrus is feeling much better.
Good.
Angus, why did you say you hadn't phoned Cyrus lately?
What?
The other day when Sally was trying to reach him, you said you hadn't called him lately.
Oh, I hadn't.
But you had. Or at least you tried to. Why'd you lie about it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
His number isn't in here. It was, except you found out his phone was disconnected. So you removed his card from your Rolodex, being as meticulous as you are.
Is that a crime?
No. Being neat's not a crime. But attempted murder is.
So I tried calling my own brother. There. I confess. What, no handcuffs?
We think somebody is trying to kill your brother. Jokes and lies aren't going to help him. Or you, sir.
Okay, I tried calling him. No reason to lie about it. But I'd rather not discuss it. It's a family matter.
Sometimes so is murder. Why did you try to phone him?
We'd had another fight. I suppose I said a few things I shouldn't have. Called him a few names. Oh, he started it, but... Well, I guess I finished it. So I decided I'd call him up and apologize. At our age, fighting's not such a good idea. You can't be that sure you'll ever get a chance to make up.
So you found out his phone was disconnected. Do you have any idea why?
I'm not sure. At the time, I thought it was Si's way of getting me to drive out to apologize in person.
Did you?
My brother's not the only stubborn Scotsman in the world, you know.
I know.
All right, thanks very much for all your information.
What have you found out?
Sir, if money were a motive, we'd have a bumper crop of suspects.
For instance?
For instance, Howard Sparks. A few years ago, he tried to start his own stable. Blew his entire life savings and had to go back to training.
For instance?
For instance, Abel Mendoza. He's been on a losing streak lately. And with a wife, 4 kids, and assorted relatives to support, he's hurting. As for Price, he didn't have 2 nickels to rub together even before Sparks fired him. Which brings us to Angus McPhee.
Money trouble?
Mm-hmm. He's been living too high on too little for too long. His cash is nearly gone, and his credit is strictly...
That it?
Yes, sir, that's just about it. Except for what it's worth, Willie Marshak is also on the list of the ranks.
How can that be? Mendoza's the one with the losing streak. Marshak must be making $100,000 a year.
$112,000 last year, which is roughly what Mrs. Marshak spent at the department stores.
Very expensive tastes.
Even more expensive than the Internal Revenue Service, to whom Willie is in debt to the tune of $44,000. So you see, sir, if money is the motive, I really think we only have one suspect.
Who's that?
Angus McPhee. Sir, even without a will, as next of kin, he would inherit the entire estate. Correct, sir?
Sounds correct. Just doesn't feel correct.
Commissioner, you're not in your office.
No, I'm not.
That's right. I lifted the prints from the transistor radio.
What did you find?
3 sets.
3 sets?
Yes, Cyrus McPhee, Mrs. McMillan, and yours.
Some people can commit murders other people can't. I just don't believe Angus could kill anyone.
I didn't say Angus was guilty.
But you implied it.
I said he has the most obvious motive.
Well, then the motive just isn't that obvious.
Maybe.
No maybes about it, Mac. Angus is not a killer.
Since when are you so fond of Angus?
I'm not fond of Angus. I'm not fond of Phil Madison either, but that doesn't mean he goes around poisoning lamb chops.
Who is Phil Madison? And why would he go around poisoning lamb chops?
He wouldn't. That's my point. He's our butcher.
Oh, that's a relief. Now that I know our butcher isn't poisoning lamb chops, maybe I can get some sleep, if you'll let me.
Mac, Phil is a terrible butcher, but he's not a killer. It's the same with Angus. He's not the greatest brother, but he's not the type that could go out and commit fratricide. It's not his self-image. He's a lady killer. Not a killer. Well, since we know that Angus didn't do it, who could it be that's trying to kill Uncle Cyrus? And why? Well, it's a sure bet that I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. How about you? You rascal. I thought you were sleeping.
Hello.
Hello, Commissioner. This is the trainer, Howard Sparks, out the track.
Oh, good morning.
I just wanted to tell you that Mr. McPhee phoned me a little while ago. He says he's coming out to the track right away to pick up Bayanos. He plans to take him back to the ranch with him.
The old fool.
Well, I just wanted you to know what that old coot was up to. He was bragging to me about how he snuck out on a fire escape. You know, I think this old guy is getting senile.
I'll be out there as soon as I can. If Cyrus gets there first, try to stall him.
I will, but there's something that I gotta tell you.
What is it?
Well, it'll hold until you get out here to the track.
I'm on my way. Public nuisance #1 is just busted out.
Uncle Cyrus! Uncle Cyrus! I know you're here. Where are you? Mac! Mac!
Commissioner.
Mac, we didn't know what had happened to you.
Just an early morning workout.
Somebody bashed Sparks over the head.
I know.
Look, I told you it wasn't me. It was like that when I found him.
You always run when you see a man unconscious?
I explained to you. I was afraid.
Are we booking him?
Not yet.
You mean I can go?
Yes, you can go.
We found this in the stall, Commissioner.
Check it for prints.
Mac, what do you think happened to Uncle Cyrus? He should have been here by now.
He's not here yet?
No.
Put out an APB on McPhee and put a tail on Mendoza.
Yes, sir. I want to see if I have an accurate description of Cyrus. 5 foot 10 inches, 170 pounds, blue eyes, sandy hair, 72 years old. Is that right?
I don't think Uncle Cyrus is that tall, do you?
Well, he's that tall, but not that old.
Uncle Cyrus, where have you been? We've been so worried.
What do you mean, where have I been?
You left the hospital hours ago.
I did?
Where have you been all this time?
Let me tell you something, Commissioner, and you're free to pass it on to your friend the mayor. The bus service in this town is just plain lousy.
You took a bus?
I took several.
Why didn't you take a cab?
Oh.
Well, that was a silly question.
Enright, see if you can get me the names of everybody that was in this area this morning.
Yes, sir.
What happened? I saw an ambulance pulling out. Oh, bad news, huh? Well, you can tell me. So long as I'm prepared for it, I can take it.
Someone bashed Sparks over the head.
We think it might have been Abel Mendoza. He was behaving kind of suspiciously.
Well, he's kind of a nervous fella. You know, thoroughbreds are that way. 1,200 pounds of sheer force, and I've seen them spooked half out of their minds by a 2-ounce mouse. Now,
Oh, Commissioner!
Excuse me, I gotta get going.
Going where?
Well, I'm taking Bio-Nose home with me.
Well, if by home you mean the hospital, then...
I mean the Tam-o'-Shanter.
No, you're not.
Oh, now, Sally, don't argue with a sick old man. The strain is bad on my heart.
What happened to the guy who could take it? He was here just a minute ago.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get my horse.
Did you ever hear of a mule owning a horse? He's gonna kill himself.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. We just want to be certain he doesn't have anybody to help him along.
You're right.
I'm going to station someone at his ranch.
Oh, you think Uncle Cyrus is gonna put up with that?
No, that's why we're not going to tell him.
Oh.
Commissioner? What I could find out, this is a complete list. Of course, somebody may have snuck in.
Is Angus still here?
I believe so.
We'll talk to him first. I want you to station someone at the Tam-o'-Shanter. Make sure he keeps out of sight, but to keep Cyrus McPhee under constant surveillance.
Yes, sir.
How are you gonna get Bio-Nose there? On the bus?
Well, I've rented a car and trailer. Now I suppose I'll have to hire a driver.
Oh, I'll drive you.
You can't pull a trailer, Sally.
Oh, yes, I can.
No, you can't. You take him in his car. I'll see that the horse gets there.
I hope you're not one of those crazy hot rodders.
Hot rodders? How old did you say you were?
Smart guy, huh? Now, look, I don't like going faster. Can you keep it under 40?
What does it matter? I've got the most reasonable rates in town.
Well, in that case,
If you take a pill, you'll sleep the whole way.
only if you promise to keep it under 40.
She promises. She promises.
That's some pushy kid you're married to.
I'll see you when I get home.
Okay, drive carefully. Remember, you're transporting the last of the big spenders.
Okay. Come on, Bio-Nose.
Don't waste it, Commissioner. Inhale.
I don't smoke.
You don't know what you're missing.
Tell me, do you make it a rule to come in on Sunday?
No, I don't. I got behind some paperwork and had some catching up to do. I take it that question wasn't asked out of idle curiosity.
No. Howard Sparks was attacked this morning. Can you account for your movements the past hour or so?
I haven't any movements to account for, Commissioner. I've been here in my office since about 7:30. Was Sparks badly injured?
Don't know yet. Sounds we're at the hospital. Was Willie Marshak in here this morning?
I don't think so. That Rolls Royce of his is hard to miss. Hello? Willie. Speak of the devil. The commissioner was just asking about you. Tell me, how are you feeling? Oh, that's good. No, I'm afraid you can't. No, I just heard he was attacked this morning and he's in the hospital. They don't know. Okay, Willie. Ciao. That was Marshak. Wanted to let me know he'd be able to ride next week. You know, Commissioner, it's beginning to look like Bio-Nose as a jinx. First it's his owner, then his jockey, now it's his trainer.
Do you have any idea who might have attacked Sparks?
Well, if I had to guess, my numero uno suspect would be Abel Mendoza.
Why him?
Well, he used to be Cyrus's regular jockey. It was Sparks who first suggested to him that he replace Mendoza with Willie Marshak.
We may want to talk to you later, Angus, so stick around.
Oh, I'm always around, Commissioner.
You are at that.
Uncle Cyrus, did you take your pill yet?
After paying $2 for it, do you think I wouldn't?
Well, then why aren't you asleep?
Because obviously it wasn't worth $2. Oh.
Uncle Cyrus, we're here.
Huh? Already? Oh, there's nothing like having a nice nap, is there?
Nope, you're right. I could use one myself.
No, I don't understand.
What did they say
I
happened?
mean, there must have been something you could have done.
And you? Are you all right?
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
He slept through the whole thing?
Of course, I'll tell him right away.
All right. It's a little late, but take care. Bye.
Commissioner, that was the hospital. Sparks died in the ambulance. He never even regained consciousness. Is there something the matter with Mrs. McMillan?
Uh-huh. Her car went out of control. Somebody drained the brake fluid. Our killer's game plan has changed. It's no longer murder by indirection.
You know, sir, it seems to me he's under some sort of pressure.
Hmm.
Maybe some kind of time element. Who are we going to arrest?
Who do you suggest?
Well, you could drive a truck through any of their alibis. Angus McPhee claims he was in his office. He can't verify that.
And Mendoza claims he just happened to be on the scene of the murder. Very flimsy alibis.
Yes, sir. Which one is the guilty party? Frankly, I think McPhee's alibi is the weakest.
I don't think either of them is the man we want.
Well, why not?
Because of the weakness of their alibis. I mean, how often can you prove where you've been? Innocent people don't go around establishing foolproof alibis. But I can guarantee you almost that our killer has gone to a lot of trouble to create a foolproof alibi.
Well, I guess you're right.
Let's go see Sykes. Sykes,
Oh, hello, Commissioner.
don't poison yourself.
Oh, that's quite all right. I poured it myself.
What can you tell us about the murder weapon?
Well, sir, murder weapon? It's a hammer. Might as well still be part of a tree. It's clean.
Well, that figures.
It's your ordinary hammer. Nothing unusual about it. Killer could have picked it up anywhere. Would you like some more coffee?
No, thank you. Sykes, what were you saying yesterday about poison being in the thermos?
It's definitely strychnine.
No, you said something about Marshak drinking.
Oh, yeah. I said that if Marshak had been thirstier,
He'd never be thirsty again. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it.
You know, Commissioner, I'll tell you something. He's mighty lucky he took only one swig.
Where are you off to, Commissioner?
Check the Marshak's new car.
Check? For what?
Well, with Darlene's arm broken, I'm pretty sure she hasn't driven it. New car has 8, 9, maybe 10 miles on the speedometer. If the new car has more, Willie's going to have an awful lot of explaining to do.
You suspect Willie Marshak? Well, why? Didn't somebody try to poison him?
If you try to poison someone with strychnine, you're going to succeed. It's my hunch Willie took it himself. Just enough so we'd discover it in his system.
You're guessing now, aren't you?
Not entirely. He phoned Angus this morning in his office, remember? Unless he'd already been to the track and seen Angus in his office, how'd he know he was there? Angus never comes in on Sunday. The other day, he was talking to Cyrus. He referred to Bio-Nose as our horse. And where does he get off telling Price how to exercise our horse, unless he held a proprietary interest?
Sounds good. I think that I should come with you, Commissioner.
No. I want you to check with the post office. Find out if anybody answering Willie's description mailed a package the size of the radio Wednesday afternoon or at the latest Thursday morning.
There are an awful lot of branches.
There's a time element involved. Remember, it had to be delivered by Friday morning.
Main branch.
Right. Miles.
What am I supposed to tell you? You tell me that Willie drove my new car. So big deal. He bought it. I guess it's no crime if he wants to drive it.
How could he afford to buy it? He owes the government over 40 grand.
That's the least of it.
Who else does he owe?
Oh, I could bite my tongue.
Later, who else does he owe?
Bookmakers. He dropped a bundle.
Who are they?
I don't know. He doesn't tell me anything. I heard him on the phone last week. He sounded desperate. He was guaranteeing some guy that he'd have the money for him very soon. Now, I don't know where he expected to get it. I offered to sell the car and hock some jewels, but Willie wouldn't let me. Would have bruised his pride. Pride makes him 10 feet tall. In his eyes, anyway, and I guess that's where it counts.
Where's Willie now?
I think he said he was going out to the Tam O'Shanter stables.
Why?
Well, he was going to ask Mr. McPhee if he could have the horse now instead of waiting till the old man dies.
He inherits Bio-Nose?
Sure. Mr. McPhee knows that Willie loves that horse as much as he does. That's why he wrote him out a paper a couple of weeks ago, stating that if anything happened to him, Willie gets Bio-Nose. But Willie needs him now.
Give me Sergeant Enright. Enright. Put out an APB on Willie Marshak. And meet me at the McPhee Ranch.
That was fine. Thanks, Sally.
You're welcome.
How is Bayou Nose?
I just put him in his stall. Now scoot down. Come on. He's resting comfortably. He's going to be just fine.
Sure he is. I'll bet you didn't fiddle with his pillows.
You're terrible. I should have known better than to get involved with a stubborn Scotsman. After all, I'm already married to one. Now, I'm bringing Mildred out here tomorrow to take proper care of you.
Who's Mildred?
She's our housekeeper.
What does she charge?
What do you care? We pay her.
Well, in that case...
Well, in that case, she's got great legs. You're going to love her.
Well...
Now, I want you to get some rest. God knows you're more trouble than you're worth, but you're so doggone cute.
Yes, I am, aren't I? Sally.
Yes?
Thank you.
For what?
For trying to steal an old man's apples.
Okay, let's go. Booking.
Around the far turn, it's total recall. On the inside in front, by a head, by a nose, challenging for the lead. On the inside is second. Little Peter is third, followed by Tiger's Ragadina. They're turning into the stretch. It's total recall. In front, by a nose, challenging for the lead. It's total recall. And by a nose head in head. Total recall and by a nose. As they come down to the line of finish, it's by a nose. Getting up to win it, by a nose, with jockey Abel Mendoza aboard.
What are you doing?
Oh, that's not mine. Sykes asked me to bet $2 on Total Recall. This is mine.
You know, I can't help thinking how all of this could have been avoided if only Willie had understood people as well as he understands horses.
How do you mean?
Uncle Cyrus loved Willie. He would have given him the money if he'd only asked. You know, I already told you Uncle Cyrus is only cheap when it comes to himself.
And even that's changed. He's had his phone put back in. And he even plans to remodel that chicken coop he calls home. Or so he says.
You're kidding. That must be Mildred's influence.
No doubt. Mildred's very good with other people's money.
We better call Uncle Cyrus and tell him that Bio knows one.
Good idea. And while we're at it, let's test his New Year's resolution.
What do you mean?
Let's try reversing the charges.
Sally. Would you mind stepping up here a moment? Could you help us with that, officer? Thank you. Oh, come on now. You don't mind posing with me for a few pictures?
Well, it's not really very fair. I am the newest member of the board.
And the prettiest. Surely aesthetic reasoning should govern the world of art.
Like the way you talk.
Oh, Senor Feliciano, Commissioner Stuart McMillan.
How do you do? How do you do?
Mrs. McMillan?
We're ready with the tape now. Oh, excuse me a moment.
Well, I hope it's correct this time. I was so embarrassed at that last exhibit. I want to thank you again for coming to my defense.
Anybody can make a mistake.
But a lecture on Cubism in a whole room full of British 19th century landscapes?
You're the gentleman who brought the painting from the Prado, aren't you?
A great cost to my nervous system, yes. Nor shall I rest easily until it is safely returned to El Prado.
Well, perhaps an explanation of our security system would benefit your nervous system.
It would indeed. You see, we have reports that an international syndicate will attempt to steal the painting.
All the doors and windows are attached to the burglar alarm system, as is this painting. And right, I'm going to trigger the alarm. You see? Okay, Henry, turn it off.
Well, you were the only one who thought anybody could make that kind of mistake.
Well, listen, the bad thing was that nobody on the tour noticed it. It wasn't reported for 2 months.
Oh. Well, try again.
Here, wait just 1 second. Oh, Mac, I'm going to take the tour now.
Okay, I'll call you later from the office.
Oh, I won't be home. I'm going to be working with the children all afternoon.
Okay.
See you at dinner.
Bye-bye.
Nice to meet you. See you later.
Bye, Sally.
It's all set.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck.
Now, where is it?
Starts right there.
Okay.
Welcome to the San Francisco Art Museum's 17th annual spring exhibit. If you will kindly move down the corridor.
Charlie? Senor Feliciano, this is Sergeant Enright.
How do you do?
He's in charge of our personnel assigned to the museum.
I suppose, Sergeant, you will also tell me that my worries are useless.
Yes, sir.
We begin our tour there. Gallery A features a collection of early Italian masters. You will notice the door on your left. This leads to Gallery B and a collection of Venetian paintings unrivaled in the United States.
And 2 men here and here, sir. And that should certainly do it.
Mm-hmm. What about the closed-circuit TV cameras?
They'll be monitored right here at headquarters, sir.
Mm-hmm. Any chance of someone stealing another masterpiece while we're so busy guarding the Rembrandt?
Negative, sir. We've got everything in this museum under surveillance. And so many men guarding it, I'm not sure there's going to be any room for the public. We could hold off an armed invasion, sir.
Okay. Let's get a copy of this over the Spanish consulate. See if it brings a real smile to Senor Feliciano's face. And while we're at it, I want you to go over the wiring details with me one more time. See if you can bring a smile to my face.
Think she's all right? She groans like she is. Feel that, lady? Mm-hmm. That's a gun.
We're gonna take your gag out now. You make a noise and the gun goes off. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You all right?
Gee, it's nice of you to ask. Of course I'm not all right.
You want some water?
Will do for starters. Thank you.
Here.
Thank you.
She's just real polite, isn't she?
Oh, you like that approach? Then maybe I should ask you, would you let me go, please?
Oh, that's cute. But no go.
Well, then could you take off this blindfold? It's too tight. It's stopping the circulation.
And you're supposed to be a police commissioner's wife? Do you know what'll have to happen to you if you get a look at us?
You know, this blindfold's not really that uncomfortable.
Put the gag back in her mouth while I call her husband.
Thank you.
Yes.
There's a call for you on one, sir. He refuses to identify himself, but insists on talking. Says it's about Mrs. McMillan.
Okay. Yes?
Hello, Commissioner. You have any idea where your wife is right now?
Yes, who is this?
Oh, so you know where she is, huh?
You better check on that. And be home at 2 p.m. And we'll tell you where she is.
Who is this? June, call my wife at the Deaf Center for Children. Enright, you better get in here right away.
Yes, Commissioner. We found a tour guide tape in a wastebasket with Mrs. McMillan's fingerprints on it. And you know what was missing from the place? An oversized laundry bag.
Just one of your regular oversized laundry bags?
Just one of your regular oversized laundry bags, Mildred, except Sally is inside. Yes?
You located your wife yet, Commissioner?
What do you want?
Well, you don't know where she is, huh? Well, guess who does?
If she's there, I'd like to speak to her.
No. Oh, Commissioner, you're all rattled. I'm the one who's giving the orders.
I'd like to talk to my wife.
Easy. Easy, I'll let you talk to her.
But I'm warning you, Commissioner. If you don't do like we want, it'll be the last time you talk to her.
Hi, darling.
Sally, you all right?
Fine. I haven't been so nervous since you proposed.
All for now, Commissioner.
All right, what do you want?
You'll be right there in 3 hours. We'll tell you then what your assignment is.
How much are they asking, sir?
They haven't said yet.
Well, that's rather strange, isn't it? Usually they tell you right off so you can start raising it.
Trying to psych me out. What would you say Mrs. McMillan is worth?
I'd say she's priceless, sir.
And what else have you seen today that's priceless?
The Rembrandt.
They must figure the commissioner of police could be the only one to get through maximum security at the museum.
And they figure right.
Well, then give them the Rembrandt. It's not like they're asking for the Mona Lisa.
I tried telling that to the Prado.
But, sir, if that's what they want, and you don't give it to them, they might kill her.
Oh, Commissioner.
It's easy, Mildred. We'll get her back. Don't worry.
A phone recorder at the commissioner's house, that's right. And stand by for a trace at 5 p.m.
Hey, why don't you guys have something to eat? You can't just drink coffee all the time.
That'd be great.
Thanks, Mildred.
Commissioner. Did Mrs. McMillan say anything that might help when she talked to you?
Yes, I'm sure she was trying to give me a clue. When I asked her if she was all right, she said yes. But that she hadn't been this nervous since the day I proposed. Now, why would she think of a thing like that at a time like this?
That's all?
That's it.
It's not much, is it?
No, it isn't, but I'm convinced she was trying to say something that would help me locate her.
Where did you propose to her?
In a delicatessen. We were having breakfast.
I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying all this. Do you realize this is the first time we've ever had a date for breakfast?
You know, my grandmother used to say that if you can propose at breakfast, you've picked the right girl.
My grandmother was right. That's a very good rule. I wish I could have known her.
Sally, do you know what I just did?
Pushed away your locks.
I proposed to you.
Propose what?
To marry me.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, Mac. That's really nice. I'm so pleased.
Yes, so am I. Well, I guess we should begin making plans.
Plans for what? Can I have some more coffee, please?
For getting married, you remember?
Oh, Mac, you don't want to marry me.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You just barely proposed. Besides, you could have any girl in San Francisco. You probably already have. When I think of all the girls, it would just be wild to have you propose.
Are you saying you're not one of them?
Of course I am. Mac, my grandmother always used to say, accept no proposals at breakfast. Or what do you do for the rest of the day?
She refused me.
Well, sir, I didn't think it was likely that she'd be stashed in the back room here. I mean, this looks like a perfectly ordinary deli.
You know, Inman, I've got to handle this right. I could lose her.
Oh, come on, Commissioner. We've got work to do.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Sergeant, you eat here too?
No, we're here on business, senor.
Oh, well, now that you've discovered one of my weaknesses, let me give you some advice. You try the pastrami. It's absolutely great. I happen to be a pastrami connoisseur, just as Mr. Pennington is an art connoisseur. And what's your specialty, Commissioner? Don't tell me. Law enforcement, I trust. It's been a pleasure. Good day.
You know, Commissioner, maybe Mrs. McMillan meant the area, not just the delicatessen itself. I mean, take a look at that warehouse across the street. That'd be an ideal place to hide somebody.
Sally's much too smart to give that vague a clue. But I'll try anything. Thank you, Sergeant. It's always good to have you along. Why don't you check down there, Charlie?
I was just trying to get out of the sun for a while. You own this place or something?
Police.
Hey, look, put that thing away, will you? I've never done anything wrong in my life. In fact, I've never done anything. I'm a bum. There's beauty in that, too, you know. Only right now, not too much. I haven't eaten in 2 days.
All right, Sergeant, book him.
Yes, sir.
And make sure they keep him at least 24 hours. Till he's had a couple of good meals.
Hey, thanks, mister.
Commissioner, if anyone at that museum knows anything, they're not talking about it. We questioned all personnel, checked the guide tapes, and we searched that place from the basement to the attic. And all we came up with was the tape that sent Mrs. McMillan to the maintenance room.
Which means we're not getting anywhere.
Not yet, no, sir. Now, if you can keep them on that phone for 3 minutes, we've got them. Even 2 minutes. And we can pinpoint the area.
I thought Sergeant Wilson usually handles this equipment.
Oh, he does, but he's on another assignment.
Last minute?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, it's just that I felt so useless down at that office with all those men and all that equipment there. And none of us are any nearer to her than we were this morning.
That should be my speech, Sergeant. Or are you in love with her, too?
Well, you think I'd come over here and tell you about it if I were?
Yes, I think you would.
Those look fantastic. What are they?
Chocolate meringue. They're Mrs. McMillan's favorite. Save some for her in case she's hungry when she gets home.
I thought you always said they're a nuisance to make.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. Do you mind?
I don't know. What are you doing?
Oh, well, I've been promising Mrs. McMillan that I'd get at these spots for weeks. First the rug and the drapes.
Start the trace.
Yes?
First off, Commissioner, don't waste time with the trace. We're gonna be off the phone in a minute and a half.
All right. I won't waste any time with a trace.
Go on.
Hey, you probably figured out what we want by now, right?
Well, I have a pretty good idea. You want the Rembrandt.
Hey, I heard you were bright. It's nice to have it confirmed. Be on the corner of Bush and Polk at midnight with the painting. And no tail. And no bugging devices, Commissioner. Any slip up on your part, and you will never see Mrs. McMillan again.
Just a moment. How do I know you'll release her after I deliver the painting?
Well, Commissioner, we want the painting.
Not your wife.
And I also want to make sure she isn't taken out of San Francisco.
Nice try, but...
We're not about to tell you where she is.
Either I get her back as soon as you get the painting or the deal's off.
Okay. She's in San Francisco. But that's all we're going to tell you.
Prove it. Let me talk to her.
I told you once, this call's ending.
Then call back at 10 p.m. and have Channel 12's newscast playing in the background. The station signal only reaches San Francisco area. That way I'll know she's here and safe.
Now look, Commissioner.
You look. Either I talk to her or the deal's off.
Okay, 10 p.m. Channel 12 in the background.
And no tricks. I'm warning you, Commissioner.
No tricks. And one more thing. Any luck?
Nothing. You're pushing them very hard, Commissioner.
What choice do I have?
Where are you going?
To get the painting.
Well, high time. I was all ready to go to the museum myself.
They won't get away with it.
We have to go on the assumption they will.
Isn't there something else they'll settle for? Feel free to offer any amount of money. I'll back you, Mac. You know that.
Oh, thanks, Matthew, but it isn't money they want. They want the Rembrandt.
Well, if that's it, that's it. The first order of business is to get the permission of the Spanish consul. Thanks. It won't be easy. I can imagine Senor Feliciano's reaction when we tell him we want to borrow his masterpiece.
Absolutely not. Out of the question. There's no choice. A life is at stake. My wife's.
That is highly regrettable, of course. And after you called, I was on the telephone with my embassy. It is simply not within my power to give you the painting.
Well, if I may ask, just what are the priorities of your government?
To protect the rights and property of the citizens. The Rembrandt is one of our proudest possessions. It is not mine to give or to loan. It belongs to all the people.
I don't see how you can equate property with a human life.
I sympathize completely with your concern over the safety of your wife, but I urge you to look at this matter from the larger view.
What larger view? My wife is about to be killed. There is no larger view for me.
Commissioner, try to consider the precedent this would set. If we agreed to surrender the Rembrandt as ransom, the demands that might follow could literally lay siege to the art world. All its treasures would be subject to this kind of plundering. We owe it not only to ourselves, but to the world to take this kind of stand.
Senor Feliciano, you're an eloquent spokesman for your government's position, but you're also a man. And a woman's life is in danger, a beautiful young woman. No painting's worth her life. No painting's worth any human life. I've been a connoisseur of art all my life. If anybody knows the value of a masterpiece, I do. But I also know there's no greater work of art than a beautiful woman.
I must agree, in spirit, of course. But I cannot relinquish the painting. I'm deeply sorry.
All right. I'll get Washington on the phone. I won't take no for an answer.
As you wish, Commissioner. But I can tell you, your plight is hopeless.
Yes, Harry, that's right. I am putting it on a personal basis.
Mac.
It's just not possible.
Then make it possible.
Mac, be reasonable.
Look, in the Army, I saved your life.
Now you save mine.
The timing's lousy, Mac. We're right in the middle of negotiations with Spain for a new...
I don't give a damn about your negotiations. I want my wife back.
All right, Mac. I'll make the call.
But I can't promise anything.
Thanks, Harry. And don't hesitate to beg.
Commissioner? I just wanted to report that everything's been arranged for that 10 p.m. phone call.
Thank you.
Well, I guess there's nothing else that we can do until they call. Are you all right, sir?
Well, I don't know. I'm fine. I just keep going over what he said in my mind. It suddenly dawned on me that there was something else besides his words.
Oh? What was that, sir?
Well, a noise in the background. A pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket.
Well, what kind of an animal would make that kind of a noise?
No, it wasn't an animal. It was a motor of some kind.
Oh,
A pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a
pocket,
pocket,
a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket, a pocket,
yeah.
a pocket, a pocket.
A washing machine.
Washing machine be whoosh, 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 whoosh. That doesn't exactly narrow the field.
No, it doesn't. There's got to be a clue in what Sally said.
Well, sir, we've tried the delicatessen and the warehouse across the street.
Yeah, but you see, after Sally hedged on my proposal at breakfast, I changed the setting. I tried again at lunch. This time, it was at the top of the mark.
Of course I love it. I adore caviar. Not to mention the ambiance. You really know how to handle a girl, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've had so much experience. I've had none. Are you sure you're not trying to take advantage of my inexperience?
Of course I am. That's why I'm asking you to marry me.
Well, it sounds a lot better here than it did at the delicatessen.
Well, is that a yes or a no?
I loved breakfast. I'm adoring lunch.
Oh.
What are you doing for dinner?
Sorry, but I have to work.
You do?
Yeah, I have a brief due in the morning. I'll be in my office most of the evening.
The Carson case?
Your hunch was right. It is an embezzler, except it isn't Carson.
Do you mean to say, Mac, that I was really able to help you on one of your cases?
Well, more than I plan to admit in public.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Which question?
Why I want to marry you?
For my brains? Oh, Mac.
Sally, I love you. Look,
love you.
I wish I could believe that. I do want to, you know.
We want to search every room in the hotel.
Every room?
And every closet in every room.
I'll get the manager to accompany you.
Commissioner, if we don't find Mrs. McMillan here...
If we don't find her here, we'll check every hotel in San Francisco. It's the only clue we have. A hotel.
Yes, sir.
You think we're wasting our time, don't you?
Yes, sir.
That concludes this evening's Film Classic. Stay tuned for the news, which follows immediately.
Good evening, folks. Got some real thoroughbreds out here in the corral for you tonight. You come on over. You're going to go home with a couple of 100 horses, I guarantee it. We'll make you a deal so good, you want to lasso it yourself. If you don't, why, brother, I'll tie the knot myself and hang it from the highest tree in Northern California. Come on over this way, folks. This here is my sales manager. Now, if you can't outsmart this old boy and get the best deal in town, why, you ain't even trying.
Now, just say hello. You got that?
How can I just say hello? What if he asks me questions?
Don't answer them. I just told you that, lady.
Well, what if he asked me what I had for dinner? He's sure to ask me that.
Hey, lady, you want to live after that phone call?
Why can't I just say hello?
Hurry up and dial. The news is coming on.
Oh, a little more to the right now. Yeah, I'm fine. Hold it. Just a minute.
Your home phone's ringing now, sir. They're switching it over here.
It's there on line 1, Commissioner.
Yes?
Commissioner, we got your wife here. And the TV's on channel 12.
Now, remember, just hello.
Hello.
Sally, are you all right?
Hello.
What? Good evening, and welcome to Channel 12 6 p.m. News.
6 p.m. news? You recorded the 6 p.m. news to play behind her voice.
What kind of a trick is that?
It's not a trick. The station made a mistake. Ask your wife.
She's probably not even alive. You have her on tape saying yes or no to any question I ask. The deal's off. What's that?
Yes. Good evening, Channel 12.
Hey, don't you guys even know what time it is? If it's 6 p.m., I've been drinking since 2 p.m. Say, not a bad idea.
Thank you very much for calling. It was our error. Sorry. Good evening, Channel 12.
I hope your news is more accurate than your clocks.
Our error. Sorry. Good evening, Channel 12.
What's the idea of calling the 10 o'clock news the 6 o'clock news?
Oh, I'm very sorry, but all the lines to the newsroom are busy right now. I have to put you on hold.
They've started the trace now, sir.
Okay, let's go.
Fine.
We have a line free to the newsroom now. I can connect you. Thank you for waiting.
It's about time.
Ronald Harris, sir. Good evening. May I help you?
How can you make such a dumb mistake calling the 10 o'clock news the 6 o'clock?
We did that?
You sure did. You called it the 6 o'clock news just now.
I didn't realize that. I'm
Very sorry, sir.
just a moment. Miss Wilson,
Find out if the 10 p.m. news was called the
6 p.m. news.
Will you? Please.
We're checking on it right now, sir. It's a most embarrassing situation. Are you sure you heard correctly? Yes, we did. I agree completely.
And thank you so much for bringing it to our attention.
I hope you'll continue
To watch our newscasts and report on our accuracy. Tell me.
Are you a regular viewer?
Forget it.
Well, at least we found the area, sir.
Yeah.
North Central area, sir.
Just great. Only 10 square miles.
Well, we have squads out right now covering it all.
What time is it?
Nearly 11.
I have to deliver that painting by midnight.
Any word from Washington?
Nothing.
Are you ready to listen to the tape now, sir?
What about the voice graph?
It doesn't check with anything we have on record.
How can you make such a dumb mistake
Listen.
calling the 10 o'clock news the
You hear
6
that?
o'clock?
What? In the background?
You sure did. You called it the 6 o'clock news. Just now.
I hadn't realized.
Pocket up, pocket up, pocket up, pocket up, pocket up, pocket up. Yeah, what does that sound like to you?
Pocket up, pocket up.
Yeah. Me too. I keep coming back to what Sally said. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am. Wait a minute. The day I proposed, there's someone else who knows about that.
Of course, she tells me everything. And I mean everything, Commissioner.
Did she mention the fact she kept refusing me?
Mm-hmm.
Did she say why?
Mm.
Well, why?
Well, Commissioner, I kind of hate to tell you that.
Mildred, something about the proposal or the day of the proposal might save Sally's life. Now, please, tell me everything.
Okay, you asked for it. She kept turning you down because she loved you so much.
Because she loved me so much?
And she wanted to make sure that you loved her as much.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad, sir.
Oh, I haven't gotten to the bad part yet, Sergeant. You see, the Commissioner used to play around a lot. You want it all, Commissioner?
Yeah.
Good. The Commissioner was the biggest makeout man in the entire San Francisco area. Some people said the entire West Coast. I never said so, but some people did. No offense, Commissioner.
No offense.
Well, he used to take out a different girl every evening, and sometimes in the afternoons, too. We used to read about him in all the society columns and in some other columns, and I used to say to Miss McMillan, of course, her name wasn't Mrs. McMillan in those days. Her name was...
Mildred!
Oh, yeah. Well, I would say to Mrs. McMillan, listen, if worse comes to worse, you can always get a great divorce. I mean, I felt the settlement alone was worth...
The proposal, Mildred. What did she say about the proposal?
Well, she said that it took all day, and that she had to pop the question. Really, Commissioner?
Is that the way you remember it, sir?
Well, yeah, I had to work late in the office. It must have been after 11 when I left. She was waiting for me in the parking lot.
Good evening.
Well, this is what I call a real class surprise.
How can you be sure? You haven't even seen what's in my hamper yet.
Hamper? I thought that was your purse.
You didn't eat dinner, did you?
No, not even a lousy sandwich.
Oh, well, that's what I brought you. A lousy sandwich.
I'd love a sandwich. I'm starved.
Good. My cooking works best on people who are starving.
You call this cooking? I call it a tuna fish sandwich.
Well, I call it cooking. Anything I do in the kitchen, I call cooking.
Then you're a great cook, because it's a great sandwich.
Do you really mean that?
Sure, I mean it.
Will you marry me?
Sally, are you sure I'm the one?
Well, I wouldn't want you to end up with a wife who couldn't cook. I love you, Mac.
Then what happened?
Really, Sergeant?
We just drove around, talked, made plans.
Well, sir, where did you drive?
I don't know. I just drove around. I wasn't paying any attention. Oh, there's nothing here, Sergeant. I remember. started out this way.
Where were you going?
Just driving around.
Where to from here, Commissioner?
All over, like I just told you.
Well, sir, I don't understand what the clue was. How will we find her if you drove everywhere?
I don't know. Maybe what she said wasn't a clue. Maybe I just wanted it to be. Maybe she was just nervous. No, she wasn't nervous the day I proposed. I was. I just can't remember.
Commissioner, I have never seen you like this. You've never given up before. Hey, it's almost 12 o'clock. We better get back.
McMillan.
Washington calling, Commissioner.
What have you got, Harry?
Officially, Mac, we had nothing to do with this.
And if you lose that painting, we'll issue a statement denouncing you. Also, don't ask me what I had to promise in return, or what we're giving away for this.
But you've got a green light.
Harry, you're sensational.
In fact, this phone call never took place.
But, Mac.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thanks, Harry. Would you hold this, man?
I've been here a long time. I was even on duty the night they got to Goya. Just to stand here and watch. It was worse on my ulcer than a shootout.
Thank you.
Good night, Commissioner.
Night.
And good luck, sir.
Thanks. Yes?
Right on time, Commissioner. Now go to 8th and Howard for further instructions.
Eighth and Howard. I'll take Market Street.
8th and Howard. Got it, Commissioner.
No thanks, son.
Might as well take it. It's free. The fella in the corner already paid for it. Said, be sure you got it.
Thank you. Sending me back to Bush and Polk.
We're with you, Commissioner.
All right, let's cut this out and get on with it.
Oh, but you're doing so well, Commissioner. Now bring it across the street. That's right. The building directly in front of you.
I'm going into a building across the street. A tall one. Apparently, that's where they'll make the drop.
We're right behind you, Commissioner. And, sir, be careful.
Inside the elevator.
He's in the building.
Why the rough?
No questions, Commissioner. Just keep your mouth shut, you understand?
He's in the building, going up to the roof now.
Just hold it right there. This should hold your friends for a while. Let them walk up. Move.
Look, they jammed the elevator. Martin, you stay here. We're going to have to climb the stairs.
But, Sergeant, we're going to lose the painting.
There's no way out of here but the elevator and the stairs. We've got them trapped.
All right, now hold it. Take out the painting. Yeah, that's a real one, all right. And no bugs. All right, put it back.
All right. What about my wife?
Well, you'll get her back. Just don't try anything cute, Commissioner. Be dumb if anybody got killed over a painting now, wouldn't it?
All right, now what?
She coming in on that? Don't ask me, Commissioner. I'm a messenger boy, just like you.
The Rembrandt, he's gone!
I'll get a police helicopter.
You'll never find him in the dark!
Commissioner, you'd promise you'd keep it safe.
If I could get my wife back, I'd give them the Prado.
For crimes committed against the Spanish government, we find you guilty.
We interrupt your movie to bring you the latest on the fast-breaking story of the loss of a world-famous Rembrandt painting, delivered as ransom to the kidnappers of Mrs. Stewart McMillan, wife of the police commissioner. The loss of the Rembrandt has shaken the art world. Police had planned to recover the painting once Mrs. McMillan was safely returned, but the plan was thwarted by the daring helicopter escape of the kidnappers with the masterpiece. As yet, Mrs. McMillan has not been released. The failure of the kidnappers to release their victim has heightened the controversy.
Nothing.
Reaction to the loss of the painting is already beginning to come in from around the globe. Via satellite, James Harrison talked to an official at the Louvre in Paris.
Do you feel, sir, that the ransom of the Rembrandt will affect the Louvre's policy of loaning its art treasures to other museums?
We are calling a board meeting for the end of the week to review our loan policy.
Would the Louvre ever give in to a kidnapper's demand to relinquish one of its masterpieces?
Unthinkable. Under no circumstances.
To your knowledge, has this ever happened before?
To the best of my knowledge, nothing like this has ever occurred for the past 50 years.
I see. Do you feel that this will precipitate a rash of similar actions?
It is very difficult to answer this sort of question because we never know when someone is going to come to the museum to do something of this sort.
I see. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
The Spanish government has sent an angry communique to Washington, but the State Department has yet to make a comment. Sir William Chamberlain, the noted British art critic, fears that the incident might set a precedent. We have his comments now via satellite from London.
The danger, especially in America, is that these things tend to become trends overnight. And have you ever noticed how they always seem to originate in America? Now, why is that?
We take you now to Chester Davis in our remote unit for an on-the-spot view.
We're talking with Mr. Al Liston at Johnny's Coffee Shop on 8th Street. Mr. Liston, are you aware of the ransom demand being made for Commissioner Stewart McMillan's wife?
Oh, sure. Sure, you told me all about it before you turned on all those lights. Don't you remember?
Do you think the commissioner was right to risk a masterpiece? Does love conquer all?
Oh, buddy. Are you asking the wrong fella? I mean, have you ever met my wife? Why do you think I'm hanging around a coffee shop all night?
And that wraps it up from our remote unit. This is Chester Davis returning you now to our studio.
Thank you, Chester Davis. Our in-studio guest is the chairman of the museum board, Matthew Pennington. Mr. Pennington, welcome. What do you think of the commissioner's actions?
He had absolutely no choice.
But as one of this country's largest art collectors, aren't you concerned that all of this is going to lead to a series of kidnappings in exchange for art objects?
As an art collector, I surely know the value of a masterpiece. But I've never seen a painting or any other material object that was worth a human life.
Then you approve of the police commissioner's action?
I not only approve, I feel it reflects great personal courage.
Thank you, Mr. Pennington. Other local and international figures, while sympathizing with the police commissioner's personal plight, tend to hold him responsible for losing one of the world's great masterpieces.
Why punish yourself anymore, Commissioner?
Mr. Pennington was right. You showed great personal courage.
We're going to get her back, sir. Look, these are very special kidnappers. Most likely a highly organized international syndicate. They didn't want money, they wanted a painting. And I think they'll keep their word.
Charlie, you and I have been around kidnappings too long to kid ourselves. Mildred, do you still have those scrapbooks of yours?
The ones you hate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go get them. I was just looking at them this morning.
Going to the warehouse. It's time to collect. But keep an eye on her. It's almost over.
I just checked on her. She's sleeping like a pussycat.
Pussycats don't sleep. They nap. Right on time. Good.
Everything Mr. Edgar does is on schedule. Satisfied?
That's unmarked. I'm satisfied.
So is Mr. Edgar. He wants you to release Mrs. McMillan before noon.
Right.
Mr. Edgar wanted me to tell you what a pleasure it was doing business with you.
It was my pleasure.
He said he may have more business for you soon.
Oh, good. How do we get in touch with you?
We'll get in touch with you.
Ooh, that is a honey of a shot. Where was that taken?
I can't remember. I keep going back to what Sally said. I haven't been this nervous since you proposed. Now, there's got to be a clue in there somewhere. What does that mean, Sergeant? Mildred?
Mm-hmm. Well, sir, maybe it, I don't know.
Listen, how about a little something to eat, gentlemen? I mean, personally, I can't think without a plate of food in front of me. It's breakfast time anyway.
What did you say?
Breakfast. You remember, eggs, toast, bacon.
No. The part about a plate of food in front of you. Sally always says that, doesn't she?
Hmm?
Now, wait a minute. Lox and bagels for breakfast. Lox, bagels, delicatessen. No. Champagne, caviar for lunch. Tuna fish sandwiches for dinner. Lox, caviar, tuna fish. It's fish! She smells fish! Coastline in, right? Muir to Ray's Point. They could have placed a call anywhere.
Yes, sir. Where will you be?
I'm playing a hunch. I'm on my way to the marina. Sally and I used to eat there.
Please, could you take me to the police station?
Yeah, get in, lady.
There's probably 2 men following me.
Give me the marina port, Captain.
Port Captain's office. Speaking. Yes, sir. New boats? Just a minute, I'll look and see.
I'm interested in any new boats that came in this week, especially if you don't know the owners.
I have 3 that'll fit the bill. Slip 18, 24, and 27. Yes, sir, I'll see you there right away.
How'd she get away?
Because I left him with you, you idiot. Now this time, tie her up good.
I didn't even see her leave.
Well, you can bet she got a good look at us, sweetheart.
That means they'll be able to trace us.
Not dead, she won't.
Wait a minute, he said not to harm her.
Well, we got no choice now, have we?
Oh. Dumb broad.
Hello, Commissioner.
Hi.
Grab that bar line, will you?
Yep. How are you?
Good to see you. Seems quiet enough around here.
Yeah, well, let's check and make sure.
Charlie, you said nobody ever came here.
No, Myrtle, there's no need to be inhospitable. Hello, I'm Charles Nelson. Welcome aboard.
That's gotten where it's bigger than fishing in the marinas these days. He can't pull out of here at that speed.
What slip was he using?
Number 27. That may be your man up ahead. Harbor Masters, is the port captain. Alert the Coast Guard. We're pursuing a cabin cruiser heading out to open sea. We'll need a helicopter and some boats. Over.
Looks like the harbor police are on our tail. Let's just dump her right now.
finally realized it was fish.
Why took you so long? Chocolate meringues. Boy, do I love them. It was really nice of you to make them, Mildred. I know what a nuisance they are.
That's right. Oh, a little hard. They're yesterday's. I should have mentioned it.
They're still delicious. Even day-old chocolate meringues taste good to somebody who loves them as much as I do.
Well, I'm gonna leave you two alone now.
Mildred, before you leave, I was wondering about the drapes. Now, I love the half you cleaned, but the other half is looking a little strange.
Yeah, well, I'll get around to them.
And while we're on the subject, Mildred, the kitchen cabinets look a little silly. Half varnished.
Okay. Okay.
I thought she'd turned a corner while you were away, but I'm afraid she snuck back around it.
I love her just the way she is. I love you, too. It's good to be home. Mac. Mac, why would anybody want to steal a masterpiece? What could he do with it? He couldn't show it to anybody.
Well, there's always the possibility he could just sit and look at it, all by himself.
You mean an art lover could have pulled the whole thing off?
Well, a very selfish one. Either the kidnappers had a buyer for the painting, or a private collector had it planned right from the beginning.
Where would he be able to enjoy it? He couldn't even hang it in his own house.
Well, he'd need a private place. Very private. A place he'd have to have built since it was announced that the Rembrandt was going to be shown here.
Poor Senor Feliciano. The whole thing was his responsibility. He really loved that painting. What have you got?
You sure this couldn't wait until we opened, Commissioner?
I asked the same question, Mr. Farrar.
You got the information I asked for?
Yes, sir. Every blueprint, permit, building contract in the file. Right where the marker is.
There you are, Sergeant.
A wine cellar?
You got me out of bed to look up a wine cellar?
I'm afraid no one is up yet.
Then wake him up. Tell him it's urgent.
I'm sorry, sir, but my master gave strict orders not to be disturbed.
All right, I'll wait. In the wine cellar.
We have no wine cellar.
Well, you may call it by another name. In fact, I'm sure you do. But Atlas Construction, who built it, lists it as a wine cellar.
No one's allowed down there.
You know, your master expects too much of his servants. Don't you guys have a union?
Hello, Mac.
Matthew?
How did you figure it out?
I knew the thief had to be an art lover.
Could have been anyone, anywhere.
And he also had to know I'd do anything to get Sally back. That meant it had to be a friend.
Breathtaking, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I haven't slept all night. Who could? You know, it's sad. Unfair, really. You can have all the money in the world, but there's still some things you just can't buy. The masterpieces that museums so love to hoard.
Yes. Outrageous, isn't it? In a museum, anybody can enjoy a masterpiece, not have to pay for the privilege.
But I was willing to pay.
You will.
Breathtaking, isn't it? Still, I can't help feeling sad. Matthew worked so hard to make it all possible. I wish he could see all these people enjoying it.
Doubt if he'd get much of a kick out of it.
I suppose you're right. It's incredible that a man can come to the point where things don't interest him unless he can possess them.
Oh, I don't know. I'm a little like that myself.
Still, I can't help wondering what it would be like to own a masterpiece. To have it in your own home all the time.
Why not ask the man who owns one?
I don't think kisses are allowed in here.
Oh, sure. Kisses are. I think we better leave.